Tennessee Titans fans, we are here today and we are checking out. This is a new kind of thing here. We're checking out Coach Brian Callahan's comments from Sunday after the Chargers game. This was his press conference with the reporters and Titans media after the game. This is what he had to say regarding the loss. Had a friend that's a Titans fan told me I needed to check this out, give my thoughts on it.
But as of anything to report for injuries, nothing from the game. Really key points here for us. I mean, didn't complement each other well enough. We had a chance to we go down an opening kickoff, go down there in scoring position, don't convert a third down. You have to score touchdowns in the red zone in a game like this where we knew the possessions would be limited.
We never do. We never score touchdowns. We never score touchdowns. It would not surprise me if Derrick Henry has more touchdowns by himself than the Titans do as a team. Like we don't score. And he's right. In games like this, which would be most any NFL game, you got to score touchdowns and not field goals, and we never do that. We can't get over 17 points.
We kicked field goal. Got points on the board, kicked the ball back off.
Well, it's because we threw a ball up to Josh Wiley. That was our 3rd and 4 call. I would love an explanation. I don't know if he gives an explanation for that, but why are we throwing a ball up? All due respect to Josh Wiley, he's a big guy, but I mean, we're chunking a fade up to him on 3rd and 4. Like that's why that was 3rd and 4. We only needed 4 yards, and then we'd be in goal to go, and we threw up a ball to the tight end.
We had to give up a big return into plus territory. They punch the ball in and score 7. We get the ball back. I think we get a first down or 2, but ultimately end up in a 3rd and long. We had another penalty, false start. Operation wasn't good enough today.
Always penalties.
And then we had to punt the ball. So we punt it, and we pin them down on the 5-yard line. Great coverage, great rush, all the things that we want. They're on the 5-yard line, and they go 95 yards for a touchdown. And ultimately that was the game. That was the swing, the kickoff to the touchdown, to the punt, to the –
I mean, If getting down by 10 points, I think is what it was at that point, if getting down by 10 points is the game, I don't know what he may be talking about when they went up by 17. Either way, the punt coverage is never good. I know it was that one time, but it's never good. You know, I get he's bringing it up to try to draw light to the fact that punt coverage was good, but it's usually not, and the defense looked like they were fighting for their life all day. So it was
95-yard drive, didn't bow up at any point, didn't play well enough in any phase to win the game, and didn't complement each other well. So that's how you lose games on the road to good physical football teams. Tip of the cap to them. They played well. They were physical. They were the more physical team today, which is not one of the first times I've had to say that this year. And in a low possession game, we need to score.
Yeah, it's not the first time you've had to say it this year. Because, as I've said earlier this week, we keep having the same problems over and over and over and over and over and over again. We lose because of the same reasons every week. This is not the first time the other team's been more physical than us. Like he just said, it's happened numerous times. Why is none of this stuff getting better? Do we just have a terrible roster, even after all those moves? Like, what's going on here, bud?
4 touchdowns, and we didn't. We were, I think, one of 3 or 1 of 4 in the red zone. We gave up too many sacks at the end of the day. We're holding the ball a little bit too long on some of those, and some of those are, guys get beat, and that happens, but too many negative plays in the second half where it didn't allow us to be on game script and on schedule. And that team in 3rd and 7 plus is, I think they've let up 6 conversions all year long, and we weren't going to be any one of them there in that situation. So,
not going to win many games when you have 7 sacks in a game, unless you're the Bengals playing us in the playoffs. Where you give up 12, or they give up 12 sacks and still win. Only us. I'm still mad about it.
Tough. Still, guys played hard. We still kept fighting. But at the end of the day, we didn't have enough complimentary football and didn't play well enough.
Question you got on the overturn call, and what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was going to stand on the field. They initially told me that it was going to stand, and they took another look at it as I walked away. And then as I came back, they told me it was going to be overturned. And that was all the explanation I got. I'll let you guys decide what you think the call should have been, but I don't want to lose any money.
If he's pushing the ball with his hand, Is that technically, to your understanding, still a forward pass?
I don't know what the ruling of a forward pass is right now. I'm not too sure.
Same official who said it was gonna stand, come to you and tell you they were gonna change it?
Yeah.
He give you any reason
No.
why?
No, he did not.
How much?
And that makes me even madder. If you're going to make the boneheaded decision to overturn it, you owe everybody an explanation, which I know they gave one after the game when they were asked about it. I don't care. I didn't read it because I don't care about their explanation. It will never be good enough to me.
How much of a swing was that? And
Yeah, it was critical
significant.
momentum swing at the end of the half to score a touchdown on defense. Haven't done that all year long, and to get a chance to put 6 on the board on defense and right before the half on a mistake that they made was huge for momentum. We were getting the ball back. Yeah, it was a huge momentum turning play, which I feel.
I'm not saying they would have won, but I mean that would have been huge. They would have been taking the lead into half with every bit of the momentum, getting the ball back. That would have been huge. When you are a team who is struggling to find their way, like the Titans, you need those kind of moments, and they should have had one of those, and they were robbed of it. Like
we've had a lot of those this year that haven't gone our way, and that's sort of what happens when you're not playing well enough. Is all the plays that you make feel so critical, and when they get taken away, they hurt, and that was a big momentum swing for us.
What will it take for a game without a giant kicker punt return?
We got to cover better. I mean that's kickoff coverage is what it's. You got to beat your man and cover the ball, and we didn't do a good enough job of that in that particular return. I thought we covered well everywhere else during the day. Punt coverage was really good. We pinned them down inside of 10 a couple times. I mean, we're better, but we just can't give up the one huge play on special teams a game. We got to find a way to get that shut down.
You said
it's got to get embarrassing. I mean, I think Brian Callahan's probably a good guy. It's got to get embarrassing to have to stand up here and say this stuff every week. Because you keep giving up long punt returns. You keep giving up long kickoff returns. I mean, that happens sometimes, but it happens to this team every week. It's just got to get embarrassing at some point to have to keep answering questions about it because you can't get it fixed. I mean,
that they were more physical today, and you've had to say that multiple times.
No, I said no. I said that's the first time I've had to say that.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay. My
Yeah.
I was going to ask you why is that? But
No. They just
today. What was it that made them more physical?
So he thinks this is the first time the Titans have been out physical this year? I don't know.
When you look at, we just had a hard time getting the quarterback down. He got out a few times.
You had a hard time
made some
getting
runs.
to the quarterback.
They're a bleed offense, and they suck the air out of the game. That's what Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh have done forever. They run the ball well, and it wasn't anything. There was nothing big. It was just a steady. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts when you play that way, and we just kind of gave up just enough yards every time
to
on a 95-yard drive, allow them to go punch it in for 7 when we had them backed up on the 5, which I don't know. We've done a lot of that this year, and so to not have that field position, not get that.
I don't know, man. Last week against the Patriots, their opening drive of the second half, we gave up. Let me see if I remember. 3rd and 17, 2nd and 16, 1st and 20. Like we gave up all of those on one drive. So. This was not the first time that this defense just let the other team march right down the field.
Stop and see them just sort of plug away down the field was just haven't seen that a lot against our defense. They've been pretty stout, and we weren't good enough today.
Is there a common thread you're seeing with Leroy and the penalties these last couple of games?
Yeah, he's got too many. I think our operation, with the silent cadence on the road hasn't been good enough. We work it all the time. The music's on all day long, but we got to do a better job of that execution because the false starts are killer. They put you in these long down and distances that you're 2nd and 15, which is really hard to overcome. But yeah, it's got to be cleaner. Operations got to be better, and that starts with me, and we got to do a better job coaching it.
What did you think about Will?
I thought Will was good at times. I thought, a couple of times it felt like he's trying to find a bigger play in the later parts of the game. And
always,
once he started getting the ball out and just trying to play faster, that was good. I thought he did some good things today. There's definitely some things that are encouraging and things to teach off of.
I said it the other day. I'll say it again. It was Will Levis's most encouraging performance of the season. In that he cleared a very low bar of not committing any crazy turnovers, not doing anything unbelievably stupid. His main issue in this game was his pocket presence and his inability to get rid of the football. which resulted in him taking hits that he didn't need to take, which resulted in him taking sacks that we didn't need. There were 7 sacks, and I believe at least 4 of them were on him. So
Yeah, there's sacks you feel like he helped maybe create.
Well, 2 of them for sure. One was on a naked. That was a naked bootleg, and he's on the perimeter and takes a sack on that. That's usually not what you look for. And then he had one scramble to the sideline where he's kind of trying to run, and it's a 0-yard gain or whatever it was.
More than that.
So that's 2 of the sacks that were outside of the pocket. The rest of them, I'd have to watch it to know exactly, but it felt like most of those guys, we got beat, and we had to hold the ball a couple times, and we couldn't hold up.
They let Kenneth go in part because they didn't find him to be a good, effective coverage player. They come here. How does he end up in coverage so much that they could take advantage of the weakness that they knew?
Yeah, I knew. I mean, he was in position on the one play down in the red zone. They got the PI. Just you got to look back for the ball. The other one on the touchdown, I'm not quite sure what happened there on the long touchdown. We held the ball for a long time. We didn't.
I mean, the scouting report on him as soon as the Titans picked him up in the offseason was that he was not very good in coverage. And, I mean, if it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks, it's a duck.
Get to him, and he hit the receiver crossing the field. So I'm not quite exactly sure. I have to watch that. I can give you more information tomorrow on that. But yeah, I'd have to look at it all to really comment further on it.
When you have a
Does
young,
that not feel like them outdoing you on a player feature that you're both very familiar with?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't know if that was intentional. It looked like that one they had a chance to. They were looking somewhere.
I mean, forget the fact that he's a former Charger. Are they talking about Kenneth Murray? I thought I heard him say Kenneth Murray. If they're talking about Kenneth Murray, it's not just that he's a former Charger and they knew to go after him. It doesn't matter who you are. If you watch the film from this season, forget where he was before he came here. If you're the Vikings this week, I guarantee you they are saying, we're going to try to throw at him because
front side, and he sort of came back because we had a lot of time back there to get it off. So hard for me to make that determination right now.
you've got a young player like Jarvis who's going through a couple of struggles in a rookie year. Is there something you say to him to keep him steady, or do you kind of trust that he'll be able to course correct?
Yeah, that's playing corner in the NFL. There's going to be you're going to get beat. How you respond to it is what you see most of these really good corners and coverage guys in this league get beat. They come back and they keep playing. There's really no other way to do it. You have to life on the island out there isn't for everyone, and Jarvis is tough enough to handle it, and he's mentally tough enough to deal with it. So, yeah, you're going to get beat, and you got to come back and keep playing, and you're going to miss a tackle.
I like Jarvis, but I'd sure like to see our top 2 corners that we signed in the offseason back in the lineup, because sometimes I forget that Cheeto Awuzie is even on the team. He's been on IR so long, and L'Jarius Sneed hasn't played in a month.
And you got to make sure you get the next one down. So it's just a next play mentality for guys out there. And for young players, it's challenging. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of really good players in this league that force you to be on top of your game every week you step out there. And I thought he's done a nice job, and then he gives up some plays that he's got to learn from.
I mean, there you go. I don't know. I don't know. Jarvis, I like Jarvis. I'm not too worried about him right now. The main issue that I would have with because I don't know what he's supposed to say after a performance like that, where you lose against a team that's clearly superior to you in every way. But I mean, the special team stuff and having to keep talking about giving up long returns, like I said, I think that's just embarrassing that he even has to keep doing that. And I don't know how. I'm not saying if you fire your special teams coach, it'll just fix it. But at this point, you got to send a message. You got to send a message to the fans and to Miss Amy and whoever else that you're aware that something's got to give here. I mean, this is ridiculous. I thought his summary of Will's play was mostly accurate. I understand he wasn't able to go back and watch the film, but Will Levis was responsible for more than just 2 sacks. I know the 2 plays he's talking about, and he's true, but there were more than just those 2. I mean, he held on to the ball too long, and it created sacks. And I do think he was correct in saying there are times where Will looks for bigger plays instead of just the open man, but that's been going on. I mean, that's what he does all the time. Some people are already out on Brian Callahan. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not impossible that he could be one and done, I guess. It's not impossible because this team just has the same problems every week and they don't appear to be getting better. I don't know.